Welcome back, everybody. It's untapyourgo, and today I have something special. So, I started participating in an event called Battle of the Builds, which was hosted by MTG Blackhammer. He invited me and several other content creators to battle weekly against each other with different deck restrictions, different rules, different formats, and everything. So, today's week is Brawl. We're playing Brawl with the exception that the rule is everything has to be from standard, and whatever commander you choose, every card has to follow that same set. So you can only use cards that were printed in the same set as your commander. For our case, we're playing Brokkos, Apex of Forever, and this is the Mutate commander that we decided to go with for this set. And because it's from Ikoria, everything else in the entire deck has to be from Ikoria, and I figured we actually have a lot of really good cards, especially ones that synergize very well with our commander. So let's break this down really quick. We have Zagoth Mamba. This is a 1 mana 1/1. Whenever this creature mutates, target creature opponent controls gets -2/-2. We're playing a bunch of creatures that mutate, so this is going to be an occasional kill spell. This will help. Playing a copy of Anticipate to dig a little bit, a copy of Keep Safe to protect our permanents. Since we are a mutate deck, our creatures are going to be mostly focused on like one particular creature, so we definitely want to be able to make sure that that one creature stays alive. Also protects us and it draws us a card, so that's pretty cool. Playing one copy of Mystic Subdual. This is a flash enchantment that makes opponents' creatures lose abilities. We're not really too concerned about the -2 power. That is helpful, but losing all of the abilities is really where this card's at because it gets rid of Indestructible, it gets rid of, like Double Strike, any sort of crazy ability, we can just get rid of. Polywog Symbiote this is like the all-star card of the deck. It's 2 mana 1/3. Each creature with mutate costs one less to cast, and since a majority of our creatures have mutate, they're all going to be reduced cost, and that's going to help. And it's going to help us draw some cards, discard cards to find some resources. We're playing one copy of Boot Nipper. This is a 2 mana 2/1 that comes in with our choice of a Death Touch or a Lifelink counter. So we get to choose, and this is just a nice creature to mutate onto because it's cheap. Comes in with two relevant different abilities, and then you can mutate on top of it. We're playing one copy of Heartless Act. This is a kill spell. Playing Essence Symbiote. This is another all-star mutate card, 2 mana 2/2. Whenever a creature you control mutates, you put a counter on it and you gain 2 life. So this is essentially a bear with the upside of growing our creatures and gaining us some life. We're playing Sea Dasher Octopus. This is 3 mana 2/2. We can mutate for 2, and it has flash, so we can mutate at instant speed. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Playing Call of Death Dweller because we are playing a decent amount of like 3 or less creatures. So Call of Death Dweller is going to help us bring back some of those creatures as well as put some counters on them. We're playing Grim Dancer. This comes in with the choice of Menace, Death Touch, or Lifelink. You get to choose 2 of the 3. So very often we'll have this come in as like a Menace, Lifelink, or a Menace, Death Touch. Menace is probably one of the better abilities on this card, but to have this versatility on this creature and then be able to mutate onto it is really what we're looking for. Glowstone Recluse. This is a 3 mana 2/3 with Reach, and we can mutate it for 4. And whenever this creature mutates, you put 2 1/1 counters on it. So this is a very strong creature to defend against flying, and it gets very big very quickly. Playing Lead the Stampede, since we're a very creature heavy deck, this is essentially up at max. This is a draw 5 for 3 in our deck, but we're going to occasionally grab 2 to 3 creatures on average. We're playing Primal Empathy. This is an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. Otherwise, you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, or on a creature you control. I'm sorry. So it's going to draw us cards when we have the strongest creature, and if not, it's going to help grow our creatures until we have the strongest creature. We're playing Zagoth Crystal because this is our mana rock in our colors. It taps for our option of any color in our commander's colors. Playing Mecha Godzilla, the weapon, aka Crystalline Giant. This is a 3 mana 3/3. Beginning of combat, you choose a counter at random to put on it that it doesn't already have, and it gets Flying, First Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, Vigilance, and a 1/1 counter. Whew, it's a lot of text on this card. I mean, this is like the best card to mutate onto, especially once it has Hexproof, because then your opponent can't really deal with it. We're playing Capture Sphere. This is another removal, taps a creature and keeps it tapped forever. Reconnaissance Mission is an enchantment that says whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, we may draw a card. That's per creature, so it's going to help us draw a few cards, refill our hand, and at worst, we can cycle it for 2. We're playing Blood Curdle. This is a kill spell for 4 at instant speed, and it puts a menace counter on our creatures, so this is a pretty good rate for what we're trying to accomplish with it. Dark Bargain is a 4 mana instant. Let's just look at the top 3. We get to put 2 of them into our hand and the other into the graveyard, and it deals 2 damage to us. So for 4, we get to draw 2 at instant speed. It's not terrible, but Again, we're very limited to the card selection that we actually have access to. So out of just Ikoria, this is actually a really good card. Extinction Event, really good. I'm glad that we're playing in this set because we get access to this board wipe. This is one of the best board wipes in Standard. So you get to exile odd or even creatures, your choice. We're playing Insatiable Hemophage, a 4-mana 3/3 with Death Touch that we can mutate for 3. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. So this is going to be a way to like chip down our opponent's life total, get some life back for us. And since we're mutating, hopefully as consistent as possible, this will just stack up and eventually be a lethal win condition. We're also playing Bachelor Dark Destroyer, aka Dirge Bat. This is a 4-mana 3/3 with Flash and Flying. You can mutate it for 6. Also at instant speed, whenever this creature mutates, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. So mutating for 6 kind of sucks. It's basically like a Murderous Rider or like a Heroic Downfall type effect, destroying a planeswalker or a creature. But for 6, it's instant speed, and then anytime we mutate afterwards, we're just getting more value off of that. Of course, we're playing Gem Razor. This is a 4-mana 4/4 with Reach and Trample that we can mutate for 3, destroys an artifact or enchantment whenever it mutates. Then we're playing Migratory Greathorn, a 4-mana 3/4. You can mutate it for 3, searches for a basic when it mutates. Boneyard Lurker is a 4-mana 4/4 with Mutate for 4. Whenever this creature mutates, you return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, so it allows us to buy back all of our creatures and any other permanents. We're also playing Dreamtail Heron. This is a 5-mana 3/4. You can mutate it for 4. It has flying, and whenever this creature mutates, you draw a card. Pouncing Shore Shark, it's probably one of the best creatures in the entire deck. 5-mana 4/3 with Flash and Mutate for 4. Whenever this creature mutates, you may return target creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So this, obviously, once you stack onto it a bunch of times, it's just going to be very annoying for your opponent, and this plays very well in the tempo-based matchup. Playing Voracious Great Shark, this is a 5-mana 5/4 with Flash. It is a shark, so you can mutate onto it. It has instant speed, and it has a really good body, and it counters target artifact or creature spells that our opponents cast. So this card actually does a lot for our deck at instant speed to be able to like counter our opponent from putting anything into play while also committing to the board for us to flash onto later. This is a really good card. We're playing Cavern Whisperer. This is a 5-mana 4/4 with Menace that we can mutate for 4, and whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. We're playing Auspicious Sterix. This is probably like the ultimate payoff for mutate, I guess. It's a 5-mana 6/6, so you can mutate for 6, and whenever this creature mutates, exile from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Put those permanent cards onto the battlefield. So you can imagine that if you mutated onto this like 3 or 4 times and just being able to reveal from the top 4 cards and put any permanent into play, it's very strong, especially with all the things that we can put into play off of it. We're playing Vivian Monster's Advocate. This is a great planeswalker, especially for what we're trying to do. This is a 5-mana planeswalker that comes in with 3 loyalty. We can play creatures off the top of our library and look at the top of our library anytime. And we can put +1 to create a 3/3 beast token with our choice of a vigilance counter, a reach counter, or a trample counter. So it's very versatile in any matchup that we need it to be. And then you can -2 this whenever you cast your next creature spell this turn. Search your library for a creature with lesser converted mana cost and put it onto the battlefield. So if we end up casting like a Koglo, we can tutor out Auspicious Sterix and then start going off, or vice versa. Like if we cast a Auspicious Sterix, so we can -2 this and grab something else cheap that we can mutate onto it later. Essentially, it'll help us find whatever creature we're trying to find. Then we're playing Shark Typhoon. This is another good win condition for us. We're not playing a super ton of non-creature spells, but just being able to have a 6-mana enchantment that makes flying sharks, or you can cycle it and make a flying shark that you can later on mutate onto, and it's technically better than instant speeds off the stack, so this is really good. Chittering Harvester is a 6-mana 4/6, so you can mutate for 5. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. And then we're playing Kogla, the Titan Ape. This is a 6-mana 7/6. It's an ape, so you can mutate onto it. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature your opponents control, and then when it attacks, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. And then we're not really playing any humans, so its other ability is kind of irrelevant, but you can bounce a human to your hand to give it indestructible. We're mostly focusing on the fact that it hits enchantments and artifacts when it attacks, and the fact that it fights, and it's a huge creature that we can just mutate onto and just get some value with. Then we're playing Emergent Ultimatum. This is the ultimatum in our colors. We search our library for up to 3 monocolored cards with different names and exile them. Since everything is singleton, we can just choose any 3 cards in our deck, and we're playing a lot of monocolored cards. And then our opponent chooses one of them that shuffles back into our library. We get to cast the other cards without paying their mana cost. So our opponent gets to tuck away, obviously, the best card out of the selection. But if we tutor things that are very similar, it makes it hard for our opponent because we're still going to be able to get something out of it. Like if we need to deal with an artifact or enchantment, we can emerge an ultimatum and grab like a Kagla and a Gem Razor. So no matter what they end up dealing with, like shuffling back into our library, we still get the value out of one of them to destroy an artifact or enchantment, or vice versa. Like with Blood Curdle and like Heartless Act, we can grab multiple kill spells and like Extinction Event and things like that. So that way, no matter what our opponent chooses, we still get the option. In the mana base, we're playing a mix of basics: Castle Locklane for draw, Castle Garenberg to try to ramp a little bit, and most of our deck is creature based. We're playing the Pathway, Temple, all the mixed dual lands and everything like that. The mana base is the only exception to the deck building rule, so we can build with any land from any set, essentially. So we have access to Command Tower, we have access to everything that's within the option of the 4 sets that we were playing with, which are everything currently in Standard, and that is the decks. In the first round, we're going up against Cryptic Commander, so hopefully our deck pairs very well against theirs, and in the following round, we're going to be going up against Ravenclaw, Shadow Ravenclaw. So shout out to both of them. I'm going to leave a link down in the description to both of their channels or where you can find their content. And please consider checking them out. They're all very good content creators. They have a lot of good content for you to all keep up with and things that you can watch in between watching my videos and stuff like that. So leave a like on today's video if you enjoy this kind of content. Leave a comment if you're excited for this kind of thing. The fact that I'm in competition, I can post the rules and stuff whenever I get them, and then if you guys want to hop down in the Discord, you can help me brew the deck for the challenge. So that'd be really cool to hop in and say hello and everything. Leave a subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff, and let's take this into the arena. Let's see if our Brokkos mutate deck has what it takes to win this challenge. All right, up against Bobbity Bob, aka Cryptic Commander, and this is round 1 for the Commander challenge this week. We get to go first, fortunate for us, and our opening hand is pretty good. Like, we're gonna keep this. We have creature, we have a way to find some stuff, we have a mana rock. Yeah, everything looks good. Up against Kenrith for our opponents, so they're playing 5 color, and everything is from Eldraine, so I can expect to see a lot of adventure creatures. And with that being said, they probably have Lucky Clover in their deck. They probably have Edgewall Innkeeper, things like that, Brazen Borrower, all the like. Our opponent is deciding if they want to keep their hand. I believe this challenge is a best of 3, and since Brawl does not have a sideboard, we don't actually get the sideboard. It's just 3 matches, so it's best of 3 matches, which is still really exciting because Brawl is a very fun format. If you don't play Brawl, I highly recommend it. And recently they just had the historic Brawl challenge, which was really fun. If they can just bring that as a consistent format, I'll take this because we want as many creatures as we can get. I really liked the historic Brawl challenge, and I wish that they made it a consistent challenge or a format like they have like they have regular historic. Alright, so our opponent played Fervent Champion. So it's probably humans. 5 color humans, maybe? I don't think we didn't get to look at the deck lists this time around, so. I could play the Anticipate this turn to try to find another land. Try to find a swamp for the castle to come in and play tapped. Which I think is fine. We'll play this as a black source. We'll just pass it up. We need to find a green source, which is pretty necessary for the Migratory Greyhorn and the Recluse. In response to attacks, we'll just go ahead and Anticipate now. Found the green source. Sucks to have to put these 2 back, but that's okay. Alright, so the castle will still come into play tapped. That's something to be mindful of. But I kind of want to get a creature down now to start blocking against this. Play the forest. Mecha Godzilla is probably the strongest one, right? Yeah, I think we'll play Mecha Godzilla. Gets a flying counter. I really wish that we could have got the hexproof counter there, so it would have been hard for our opponent to deal with this. They have Scorching Dragonfire as a potential removal option. Claim the Firstborn if they want to steal it, and they have a way of sacrificing it or something. There's a lot of things from Eldraine that can kill our Mecha Godzilla as of right now. And since he's playing 5 color, he has access to every one of them. They have access to every single one of them. Alright, nothing from our opponent, which is cool. We could play our castle, mimic them. Both of our castles come into play tapped is pretty funny. If I mutate the Migratory Greyhorn, the land comes into play tapped, then I would get the swamp untapped. That's not gonna help either. Can't like double spell or anything this turn. So yeah, honestly, I think we play our crystal. They also might have Emberth Shieldbreaker to be able to deal with that, which is unfortunate for us. But still, we're ramping up a little bit. Death Touch is pretty good. Still no attacks. We want to keep our life total up as high as possible. I expect them to be playing Embercleave as well. This could be Playcrafter, maybe? Murderous Rider. Yeah. See, it sucks we didn't get the Hexproof because targeted removal such as that, very good against us. So we take 5 here. Going down to 17. Unless they have Boulder Rush. Sure do. Down to 15. Okay, so we have 5 mana. We could just play our Brokkos. That'll be really hard for our opponent to deal with, I think. Yeah, I think we're just going to play Brokkos. And now we can just mutate anything onto this, and this will definitely be good. Trebuchet is pretty good. So they're definitely on knights. They're not playing like adventures. They're just on knights. Keep safe is cool. Keeps our Brokkos safe. 5 mana open. Kind of want to start getting some lands, I think. Just thinking the best way of going about this. Yeah, alright, so we definitely want to try to go a little bit wide too. So we're going to have this come in with a lifelink counter. And then we'll mutate onto this. Over. This will grab us another basic, in which case we can grab... I guess we can grab another green. Still no attacks. We want to be on the defensive because their deck is very, very aggressive. We want to wait until we start to really get our engines rolling. Alright, Trebuchet is going to hit us down to 1. I assume they're going to play the Rimrock Knight. Probably going to do the same thing and then play the Murderous Rider as well. Kenrith is a noble. It's one thing to be mindful of. He doesn't get any of the benefit from any of the knight effects. Lost Legion's cool. Lets them scry. Ooh, so we drew into our Extinction event. That's really good for us. So let's see. Odd, even, odd, even, odd. Okay, so there's more odd creatures, obviously. Inspiring Veteran is really good, being the lord that pumps everything. Getting rid of odd gets rid of their Trebuchet, which is allowing them to hurt us through our defensive. So that's probably a good thing to get rid of. We can wait, try to hold off for them to try to play Kenrith, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we want to go about this. Odd will also get rid of our Brokkos, which we do not want that. Even will get rid of our Migratory Greyhorn, so it's going to affect us regardless. Okay. So we'll go ahead and mutate on the Migratory Greyhorn then. It's going to get counters on it. And it has lifelink, so it'll keep us up a little bit. And we still have the 2 mana open for the keep safe, which we'll grab another blue now. I think we hold off on the Extinction event a little bit longer. And no attacks. Opponent gets... Oh, they didn't use their trebuchet. So... Is it Embercleave, you think? So Embercleave on this doesn't kill it immediately. Embercleave on that doesn't kill it immediately. Embercleave on that would put us down to 10. I guess we have to go this way. Show me the Embercleave. So we gain 5 no matter what. So we're at a virtual 18. Oh, that's even better. That's way better for us. I was really expecting Embercleave right there. And now we gained 5 life. We're up to 16. And our opponent's down 2 creatures. Yeah, we're in a great spot now. I could gain the life, but I'm just gonna play the temple so we can get the scry. Don't need command tower. Yeah, I guess we mutate onto... We'll just keep mutating on the Migratory Greyhorn. Put it over this time. Get back our Mecha Godzilla, which we can then play. And now I think we start getting aggressive. And our opponent can play their Kenrith and start gaining a bunch of life too. So we're still not out of this yet. Our Extinction event's going to be helpful eventually if we end up, because like we're at a pretty good advantage now, but if we start to lose it, we have our Extinction event to lean on. And our Lead the Stampede next turn will help us find a bunch of creatures, hopefully. Also to be noted that our cards got shuffled in, I believe. Like the Alsacius Barracks and everything, and the Hemophage, so they're no longer at the bottom. Alright, they're playing a bunch of knights. Evolving Wilds isn't terrible. So let's lead the Stampede first. Look at the top 5. We get a Voracious Great Shark, which we'll still take. Opponent knowing that we have that means they can't cast any more creatures, basically. So this is even, this is odd, and this is odd. So we would lose our Mecha Godzilla if we Extinction event on odd. Maybe next turn. So I can attack this turn with Brokkos. Make them trade, offer some creatures, right? And then next turn I can mutate it onto the Boneyard Lurker and have the trample pass over. Alright, so it gets... The Mecha Godzilla got Menace. That's really cool. So for now, we're just going to attack for 6. Alright, so our opponent decides to take it. Smart. It's very smart. So I just hold up the Voracious Great Shark so they can't cast any creatures. Good game from our opponent. Alright, going into our second match up against Cryptic Commander. First game was really good. Now they have a really good understanding of what we're doing, and we have a good understanding of what they're doing, so they might be a little bit more, they might think a little different with their mulligans and stuff. They might try to look for certain cards in their deck and everything. So the games should, in theory, be a lot more intricate and stuff. So now that I know that they're not just playing adventures, I don't have to worry about, I don't think I'll have to worry about like Edgewall Keeper necessarily, and I might not have to worry about Brazen Borrower and things like that, but they're definitely playing Knights, so they're very creature heavy. They have enchantments and all that good stuff. Or I mean equipment. You know, I'm sure of it. I'm very positive they have to be playing Embercleave. So our opponent's gonna take the play, and our opening hand is a little slow. I like the Extinction event, but again, it's very mana light, and our colors are all over the place. So we're gonna take our first mulligan. Evolving Wilds fetches any color, but same boat that we would be in. The Mamba's not bad though. Like I can Evolving Wilds for a black source, play the Zagath Mamba on turn 2, and then mutate the Insatiable Hemophage onto it and kill something. Potentially good, assuming our opponent doesn't kill the Mamba. Knowing that we're a mutate deck though, the rest of our hand is black too. Like I can cast everything in our hand except Capture Sphere, but we're still 2 colors short. I think I have to take the mulligan. This is better. This is much better. So I'll bottom the Great Shark since it's the most expensive. We'll Evolving Wilds for, I guess, blue. Yeah, definitely blue. So let's get the Evolving Wilds down now. Play our Essence Symbiote on turn 2. And if we find a mutate creature that we can afford to cast on turn 3, that'd be really good. If not, we'll play the Zagath Crystal. This is a good spot, though. Worthy Knight is really good. Extinction Event's probably going to have to name even eventually. Claimed Contender is pretty good, too. Lets them search to the library for any knight. Or not search, but reveal the top. Okay. They get Order of Midnight. They offer me that trade. I'm taking it. That would have been good to mutate onto, but we're okay with not having it, I think. I want to play the Zagath Crystal and try to ramp up a little bit. If we can get Brokkos down, we're in good shape. Brokkos is a very strong creature, I think, in Commander. Or at least for Brawl. It's a very strong commander. Because even if they deal with it, you can mutate out of the graveyard, and the mutate, I'm pretty sure, isn't affected by the commander tax. So, regardless of how your opponent deals with it, it always costs 5 mana. Jungle Hollow is a good draw for us to have another land. Play that. I got the Worthy Knight back with the Order by Midnight. It's pretty good. So I can exile even and get rid of both of them. Or I should wait, probably, right? As sketchy as it is, for now, I'm going to play Reconnaissance Mission. Get this down early. We'll pass it up. I could have played Brokkos, which is, like, I understand, but if they play Order by Midnight and another even creature or something, I'm perfectly okay with Extinction Event. Outlaw's Merriment's definitely a big issue for us. That's definitely going to be an issue. Alright, so we're taking a bunch. Keep safe is cool. So if I exile both of these, they're still left with a 3/3, and then they can get one of those. So I think at this point now we have to try to play Bioquartz. They probably have Murderous Rider, though. They probably have Murderous Rider. Alright, so I think for this turn, we're just going to hold up and then play Shark Typhoon. Just try to trade with something. Oh, come on. Why didn't you point that 1 damage at your 1/1? Alright, there's the order by midnight. They get their token. There's a lot of even on the board. Like, I can exile all this stuff now. This is good. And if they attack with the contender, I'll probably trade with that. So, cycle X is 3. They have to either have a kill spell or we get to kill their contender. Sweet. Now everything left in play is even. And if we're lucky, they'll play something else that's even. Nope. Okay. They have no way to protect their creatures as far as I'm aware. But we'll go ahead and name even. Just pass it up. This is going to be like our opponent still has a really good chance here though, because Outlaw's Merriment is Outlaw's Merriment's giving them a bunch of value. And they all get to have haste, which is the big problem. Also play as Kenrith and bring back the acclaimed contender. Still, we're down to 10. We need to try to gain some life here, or we're going into game 3. Alright, there's Kenrith. So we can give it haste as well. Put us down to 4. Which at this point, I think we need a kill spell off the top, or we're probably just in a lot of trouble. Alright, so our opponent didn't pay the 1 to give Kenrith haste. Ooh, you love to see it. Still not really committing anything to the board. I think for now... Most I can get is a 3-1, right? So 3, 4, and there's the 9. So... like, I can play Brokkos, and if he doesn't have a kill spell, he can't just get through with Kenrith unless he starts placing counters on his creatures, but he doesn't have green for that. He can buy back his contender, which is really good, and give it haste and start beating down like that. I could just Blood Curdle the Kenrith now, get that off the board, but then he's going to have something else, and I have no blockers. Blood Curdle's good, but he can just recast it too next turn. I think for now, we try to play Brokkos. If it sticks, we're in okay shape. If it doesn't, then we're probably going to lose this game regardless. Alright, they get the 2-1 with lifelink. Sir Conrad is pretty good. Alright, no attacks from our opponent. So we drew into Castle Garenbrig, which means we have 6 mana or we have 7 for a creature. All in green, though. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. I have 6 mana, so we have 6 mana. I could play Blood Curdle, or I can hold up Blood Curdle to kill something, and hold up Keep Safe to protect the Brokkos. I can also Migratory Greathorn and start mutating. Killing Conrad is probably good, but Kenrith can just buy that back. Yeah, I guess we just pass. See what our opponent does. I mean, Conrad can kill us with its mill ability too. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in a lot of trouble here. He also has Castle Embereth. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have us beat in so many angles. Alright, so there's a keep safe. Go ahead and kill Kenrith. We're still very much dead, though. Opponent's thinking. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Oh, I think our opponent has us beat. Hit him with a good game. Whew, man, that was close. I was really trying to, I was really trying to stabilize there. It was hard. All right, going into game 3. We are fortunate enough that we won game 1, so we get to choose to go first on this game. Our opening hand is... I don't know. Like, I like it, but I don't. If we don't draw any lands, this hand's not great. I think we're going to take the free mulligan just because we're trying to find some consistency. This is much better. Just be able... I mean, we can't play Boot Nipper, but we have the Essence Symbiote. You know, and we can mutate and everything. This is better. Still very mana light, and I really hope that does not hurt us in the long term. It's best of 3, so we both are 1 up, and we need to try to secure the second win. We only get 1 more chance. This is it. So do we keep this? I really just don't like that there's not much mana. I mean, we're going to try it. Right, Labyrinth. We drew a 3rd land, so we're not in terrible shape. It's colorless, but it's still helpful. Player Essence Symbiote. Symboot. Okay, Stormfist Crusader is pretty good for our opponent. We do not have the black mana, otherwise this would be really good. So for now, we're just going to play Lead the Stampede and try to find some creatures. We found a Cavern Whisperer. Alright. Still. I think our creature is more important than theirs, despite them getting the card advantage. Giving us card advantage too is pretty nice. Evolving Wilds is nice, doesn't grab us basics untapped, but it can help us get the black source that we need. Okay, opponent's in the tank, they're thinking. Oh man, I miss Brawl so much. This has been a lot of fun. These have been some really good games. Cryptic, if you're watching this, it's been a great matchup. Absolutely great. Best of luck to you going forward in the rest of this match and the rest of this challenge. Alright, Fervent Champion for our opponent, so they're going to be able to attack. This we can't block. This we can if they decide to attack with the Fervent. Or we can try to. They might have a way to pump it, which is something to think about. Alright, now they're just going to get in with a Storm Fist since we can't block it. Okay. Did not draw an untapped source, which kind of sucks. But we'll crack the Evolving Wilds now, grab the Swamp, and we'll just pass it up. Coggle is pretty good, but we're nowhere near casting that anytime soon. We're both definitely struggling on mana, it seems. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Rankle's really good for our opponent. It's really good for our opponent. If they make us sacrifice a creature, then we're definitely in a lot of trouble. Alright, so we're going to make them sack here, and they would have to sacrifice their Storm Fist to get rid of our Symbiote. Alright, so he's going to make us sacrifice a creature. Gets rid of the Storm Fist. Okay. This is a really good draw for us, but we can't really, like, profitably block the Rankle anyway. Call the Death Dweller can bring back the Essence Symbiote, which is cool. If we decide to go that route. I think for now we play the Boneyard Lurker. We'll just pass it up, and we have to discard, so we'll discard the Kogla. We're very far away from that. And then our opponent will have to play another creature for the Rankle to be able to sacrifice, unless he wants to sacrifice the Rankle. And if that's not the case, we can Glowstone, and then we'll have a means to block it. And then if they deal with the Glowstone at a later point, we can call the Death Dweller it back. Say that 10 times fast. Call the Death Dweller it back. Imagine trying to say that on full speed. I can't. Fatal Passage for our opponent. The better Evolving Wilds. They get their white source, so we could see Kenrith being cast this turn. He might attack with Rankle, force a sack, and then play Kenrith because he can just get Rankle back next turn. That's a possibility. And if that's the case, we will really hope to draw into a removal spell. Alright, there's Sir Conrad. Came in early. So what is he going to do? Making us discard too is also going to affect us. This Conrad, man. Conrad is good. Conrad is a really good card. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Alright, so Pouncing Shore Shark is nice. We also hit a command tower. I really like having the Pouncing Shore Shark, honestly, on standby. I think that that's what we do. We just hold that up. Yeah, I think we... Oh, we have to discard again. I think we hold it up, though. 3 or less total from the graveyard. I guess we can discard... Boot Nipper? Yeah, that sucks. Damn. That's annoying. Alright, so maybe if our opponent casts something before combat, then our Pouncing Shore Shark gets a lot better. Murderous Rider, A. I guess we'll still flash onto this. Because even though we lose it, we get the value. Oh, I can't. Oh, I didn't mutate. I just flashed it in. Damn. Even still, we have a 4-3, I guess. Damn. I misplayed, and that probably just cost me the game. I'll try to trade with the Conrad. There's 2 more. We go down to 3. 1, 2. Alright, we're down to 3. Thornwood Falls isn't bad. I'm okay with that. So if we play the Recluse first, then we can mutate for 3. I really like that. But we'd have to play this over the Thornwood. Alright. Let's give it a go. Reach. Mutate encounters, please. Oh, please stay alive. Please don't have a kill spell. Any kill spell when we're dead. Don't hover over my cards, Cryptic. Don't hover over my cards. Please. Please, Cryptic. No, no. Oh god, I don't want to look. Okay. So it's all attacks. Is it Embercleave time? Oh, no, but he can't. Okay. Maybe he didn't realize that this had reach. Okay. Okay. Really need like an extinction event. That's not an extinction event. Is there any way I can mutate more than once this turn? So that's mutate for 4, that's mutate for 5. They would just sacrifice a 1/1. That's mutate for 4. We have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we can only mutate once no matter what. I don't think mutating is actually relevant though. I think we're better off playing another creature. Maybe. So 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Call the Death Dweller brings back... Ooh, Call the Death Dweller brings back Symbiote. And then we'd have 4 mana, which we can mutate Cavern Whisperer onto. I like that. That's not bad. Just gain us back some life. 3 mana, so we have to play the Fabled Passage. Green. So I can mutate and draw a card, have a 3/4 with a counter, so it'd be a 4/5 with flying. Or I can make our opponent discard a card. I can also mutate directly onto the Hemophage to get more life out of that, which is probably relevant. Alright, pray that there's no kill spell. Alright, we'll go over. Okay, we're back up to 6. Our life total is looking a little bit better. And they have to discard a card. They can get back Conrad with Kenrith, which is kind of scary. We need to really try to play around that. I wish this had lifelink. It does not. Yep, no attacks. Oh, there's Blacklands Paragon. Oh boy. So we're still dead, I think. We're still just dead. Yep, good game. Definitely good game. Wow. You had Xaxes before the Circle of Loyalty. Good game, man. Oh, and oh no. I got baked into a pie. Oh, Cryptic. Cryptic, you did me dirty. I'll block the Blacklands Paragon. Why not? Ooh, man. That was a really good game, though. Good game. Welcome back to the wrap-up, everybody. If you've gotten this far, thank you for watching, as always. Today, we went 1-2 up against Cryptic Gaming in the Battle of the Builds weekly challenge for Brawl. So they were really fun games. I really hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed playing them. I really hope that Cryptic enjoyed the games as well. If you enjoyed this kind of gameplay and these kind of videos, please leave a like and everything, a comment, let me know down below if you enjoy these kind of games. We're planning on doing more of these, so expect more of these in the future. So we lost in this matchup, but we still have one more matchup against Shadow Ravenclaw, so we get to play against them probably later on today, and I'll probably have the video up either later on tonight or tomorrow, so look forward to that, and hopefully we do better in that matchup. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all next time.